football.
Not in the field of play.
He loses the snap, and it goes in the pile. And Covington for Dallas is all over, like he rolls across the football. Well, most quarterbacks would think of they would do one of two things. They would either stay away from it because that's a recipe for
the shoulder or hand, yes.
Or if they think they have a chance, they're going to dive on the football to try to just save the football. Although it's fourth down, so it's not going to really help you much. But that would be your instinct is just cover up the football, right? What does he do? He waits a second, and then he thinks, ooh, I could snatch this out of the pile. And not only does he snatch it, but at about 240 pounds, he decides, wait a second, I could go, I can vault.
Yeah.
So he gets 1 foot down, and he vaults over the pile, and another foot comes down, and he vaults forward again. Yeah. And he gets the first down. Well, for their sake, to your point, that was their turning point of the game, because that's when I think the whole bench knew, we got this. Yeah. Our quarterback's got this. Yeah. He is serene. He's playing like in a bubble right now.
And Skip, what surprised me with the way they played him. We talked about how mobile he is and how he can move, and it seems like Dallas really had no answers for his mobility once now, he did a great job because he scrambled on one time and he found Cole Beasley up the sideline, and Cole made a heck of a catch and a great run after the catch. But his legs is what makes him so dangerous. Now, you can tell, Skip, watching him throw the ball, you can see why Buffalo selected this kid. Because he has a big-time arm. You need that in Buffalo. You're going to play in New York. You need that. You're going to play in Foxborough. You need that.
Yep.
You can see the kid arm talent is undeniable. But and you watch, and I don't follow a whole lot because they play in the early window, and I'm not really, I hate to say this, but I wasn't really looking at the Jets in Buffalo at 10 a.m. in the morning. But watching him play, Skip, compared to where he was last year,
I agree.
You can see him moving in this direction. Some guys, they start here and then they plateau. No, this kid, his arc is steady going up.
And by the way, compared to where he was at Wyoming, because I watched him play those 3 good teams his last year there, I couldn't see this.
Skip, if you watch this kid yesterday compared to where he was when he got hurt, and we don't know because he got a concussion. But Skip, he didn't play like this against the Patriots. No. If he'd have played like this, they'd have beat the Patriots up there.
Somebody across from me said after that game that an amoeba could play quarterback better than anybody Buffalo had, right? An amoeba.
Yeah.
So you said an amoeba was better than Josh Allen, and that was only like 6 games ago, right?
Might
8 games ago.
But Skip, watching this kid play, Skip, I knew they were good defensively. But the thing is, even if you got a good defense, kind of like Chicago, when Trubisky keeps trotting them back out there after they go in 3 and out, you start to show cracks. And so I knew their defense was good. I was thinking, I was like, the Cowboys' defense is going to do a number on this kid. Yeah, they'll probably make some plays, but they'll do a number on him, and then all of a sudden, the defense from having to play so much was starting to show cracks. But it was the other way. Buffalo's offense, it was Dak's inability early to keep them off the field that kept sending Dallas's defense back on there, and Buffalo took advantage of them.
That is true. So what happens on the very next play after he vaulted for the first down? The slickest trick play you will ever see happen, courtesy of Brian Daboll, who, by the way, was Nick Saban's coordinator when Alabama beat Georgia. Remember, they had to replace Jalen Hurts at halftime, and Tua was discovered. Well, that was Brian Daboll, right? So now he's coordinating this offense, and I just had to sit back and say, props to you, because I wish my coaching staff, either Kellen Moore or Jason Garrett, would come up with that kind of play at that kind of moment. Because Dallas was reeling from, how did we let him do that? And all of a sudden, you let them do that. And I've never seen that concept exactly on how they ran the reverse inside, then outside, then John Brown, and then that little Devin Singletary is just gone wide open.
Because you're not thinking, Skip, when you see the reverse, you think the back is going to block. But he runs right past the guy that's his guy. He's the force guy, and he runs right past him. It was a great play. It was a great call because they hadn't shown this on film. So there's no reason for you to expect they're going to run it here.
So now that makes it 13-7. Not terrible.
Right.
And guess what my quarterback does? Here he came again. He drives the team from its 25 all the way down to the Buffalo 17 at the end of the half. They're great. They're the best team in the league at scoring at the end of the first half. And they have a 35-yard field goal, which is the equivalent of like an extra point. And guess what happens? Somebody interior in that Buffalo line got a fingertip on Brett Maher's kick and knocked it just slightly off course to the left, missed field goal. It's a psychological crusher because you're going to have.
Sideline. You like,
it's like
what
because
happened?
you're thinking we're going to go in. Dak's thinking, despite my 2 blunders, we could go in 13-10. Well, you'd feel okay about yourself, even though they're going to get the ball to start the second half.
Correct.
So then they do, and they drive it predictably because my defense isn't going to stop them. But they get a short field goal, and what happens to that field goal?
He
doinks it. He pushes it, and it hits the right upright.
It looked like it was going to be outside of the right upright. Then it straightens up and hits the upright and goes through.
I thought it hit it square where it would come backwards.
I did too.
And it somehow, here's Hauschka to the right, and it just sort of, that looked like it was going right.
It did. I thought it was outside of the upright.
Here we go, another hand of God field goal in Jerry world.
But Skip, you remember, Skip, he missed one earlier, and he missed the PAT.
He did. He missed
and I
the
recommended
PAT.
that they cut him on the way to the sideline. But, you know, they're like, we don't have another kicker, so we're going to hold on to it.
See, over-emotional fan. And I might be over-emotional fan also, but I got to say it publicly. Brett Maher, my kicker, has gone south officially. Once they
the man
lose
got
it,
3 60-yard field goals this year.
he missed 2 more yesterday, 1 slightly blocked. But again, when he's missing field goals and they're playing lots of close games, you're in big trouble. So again, that scares me. But that made it 16-7, and it felt like at that point it was 26-7.
Well, what should scare you even more is that your quarterback is not making meaningful plays when they matter. That's what should concern you. Not when you're down 23-7 and you get mop-up. Because that's what he did against New England, too. Got mop-up plays.
So here came my quarterback after the 16-17 doink field goal, the lucky one, and he drives them from his 25 all the way to Buffalo's 29, just driving, and it's still a football game.
Yeah.
And that's where Brett Maher, if we could see his 2 misses, that's where he missed the one that was the crusher. Because that's a 47-yarder, and he just pushes it dead right. That's the first one to the left, got tipped. And here we go again. And as soon as it left his foot, I'm like, nope, I'm done. And again, you can't, that would have made it 16-10. Would you have felt like, you would have been a little nervous at that point, even though you quote unquote picked Dallas, but you would have been a little nervous.
So when is your quarterback gonna play not far behind by 30 points?
Would that have been a meaningful field goal? Yeah, that would have made 16-10, right?
And
interesting.
What? How you get and now 112 yards? So like you always like to do, Jenny, because Jen, he likes to subtract. Okay, 112. So those little mop-up yards. So what would he have had if he didn't have those mop-up yards? 243.
Well, those weren't mop-up because that was going to be should have been 16-10. That is not garbage time.
And then they knock it out of hand again. What about when you throw the ball at Zeke's feet?
Okay, well, I'm there now. So anyway, Josh Allen breaks loose and scores from 15 yards. Way to go, Josh.
Yep.
That made it 23-7, pretty much game over. But you think, one last little hurrah.
I didn't think that.
They drive and drive. He drove them all the way from the 25 down to the 6. He can drive that team like crazy. Drives me crazy. And then it comes to 4th and 6 at the 6. Got to go for it. You just got to go for it. Yeah, you got don't take the field goal.
Why not?
And as Tony Romo, I know you don't hear the sound, but I got to give him props for this because he nailed the strategy that got flipped on the Dallas coaches in this one because they clearly, out of a timeout, thought they're going to play man. So we will get Zeke isolated on a backer in the flat.
And get him picked in the flat because they ran everybody inside to try to get the back.
Everybody inside. And guess what? Sean McDermott and company and Leslie Frazier fooled them. Just fooled them because they went zone across the board. Everybody's playing zone. So Dak looks up, and why he didn't have a plan B or C, but it's just clear that he's been told we are going to get Zeke. It reminded me of the last play against Minnesota on the 4th down where they just ran Zeke on a quick out. That was up the field a little bit more. But on this case, Dak looks up, and I think he finally just decided, I'm going to throw this away, which is absolutely the wrong thing to do. But it looked like he was going to get Zeke killed because 2 Bills are coming full bore. They're like, even if he catches it, he is going to get blasted by 2. Okay? So they got him. They got, right?
That's what a good smart quarterback, you know what he do? He walk into the line of scrimmage like, oh, this ain't man.
Okay. Could you know that? For sure.
Yeah, you look at it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. It's zone coverage. You can look at it.
Yeah, you can see it when the ball's snapped.
No. Dak is walking. Skip, what is that? That's zone. Ain't nobody pressed.
Okay. All right, but you don't know it for a fact.
You
until the
know
ball
it for-
snaps. Unless you got somebody going in motion. If Amari had gone in motion and somebody's running with him, then you know I got man.
Normally, Skip, they're going to press somebody. And everybody's playing off. Drop it to an area. Call timeout. But see, that's your guy.
Okay.
That's your guy.
Dak took all the responsibility, said it was a terrible throw, my feet weren't set, blah, 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 blah,
He
blah.
should've.
But you know what? It's just a bad idea, and it's going nowhere.
No.
You could have hit him right between the two and the one.
It's not for you to decide whether or not it's going somewhere. What if Zeke shake one, run over the other, get the ball in the end zone? But when you throw it into the dirt, it's incomplete. Don't you decide.
Well,
you let Zeke decide.
That would be the first time he's shaken somebody.
Don't worry about it.
He doesn't shake
There's
and
a
bake
first time
anybody.
for everything.
Okay.
Just like your quarterback having meaningful yards in a game that matters, not when they're down 23-7, Skip.
And CBS had a great cutaway the moment after that play back to the owner's box, and Jerry put his hand over his face.
Yeah. They had
It came to that.
Yeah, it came to that. Your quarterback, no, I want those same people to say, this is Dak's team now. Put the ball in Dak's hand. They did it. And he hasn't delivered, Skip. I put all my eggs. He calls me a case. I put all my eggs in his basket going to New England. And he dropped them on the way to the market. I got nothing to show for it. A week's worth of eggs, gone.
So we should give him a letter grade for his performance, but we should wait on that for just a minute or so, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know what he says? No confidence, no beliefs have been shaken. Strong words despite that performance.
Whatever.
So indeed, when we come back in just a moment, what grade does Dak deserve for that performance yesterday?
What do you deserve?
That's next.